Welcome back. It's awesome, Ashby, your team building expert. And I would like to present you with dare number 7. And again, all these dares are in good fun just to help you think about yourself, think about your position, where you're at in life, what's going on, what's important to you. Think about your priorities. Let's get them straight, all that good stuff. 7's my favorite number. So, dare number 7, without further ado, is what advice would you give someone? Now, I really enjoyed this question because I think advice, like booties, everybody's got some. And you really have to take anyone's advice with a grain of salt, right? But it's also good to learn something new. And we learn new things by communicating with each other. So, things I like to say to myself is what I'm going to call this, because I also feel like if you're going to give advice to someone, you better be taking that advice. You know what I'm saying? You can't give advice and then not take it for yourself. Okay. So, my favorite saying of advice when I was younger was, the mighty oak was once a little nut that stood its ground. The mighty oak was once a little nut that stood its ground. And I agree with that, because we can all be a little nutty, and our goal is to grow up to be the mighty oak, and that takes time and learning and people believing in you. Yeah. So the mighty oak was once a little nut that stood its ground. That was my favorite saying when I was young. Then later on, my favorite saying was, or is, all of these are my favorites. Change is the only thing constant in life. And it's true, and it's a hard truth, and people don't really like change. We like our comfort zones. So it's a really good thing to think about and reflect on, because it is. Change is the only thing constant in life, right? Things will always change. They'll always grow. They'll always move. So it's important we stay in a positive mindset, because you can look at that saying kind of like I used to when I was younger. Change is the only thing constant in life, and think of it negatively. But you should think of it positively, because the things that are meant for you will never pass you by. And as you grow and change, there are things that will come into your life and leave your life. And it's important to remember it's for your highest good. And that's difficult sometimes to wrap our minds around, but it is true just the same. So, change is the only thing constant in life, because things will always change. Number 3 thing that I love to say, which has been a recent favorite saying of mine. And again, these are all things people told me when I was in a tough place. And then I was like, oh my gosh, that's some really good advice. And you just sort of pass it along, you know? And so the one I really focus on now is, someone can only meet you as far as they've met themselves. Someone can only meet you as far as they've met themselves, because you have to remember we're all on different journeys. And so someone who's maybe realized to have more gratitude, be less selfish, realize it's a big world and it's just not all about me. Somebody maybe understanding different concepts in life, whether it's acceptance or accountability, all of these so fun team building words that are also personal growth words. We all arrive at a better understanding at different times in our lives. So it's really important to remember that if you're having a tough situation with somebody, they can only meet you as far as they've met themselves. And so if they are very defensive or whatever the case is, you just don't know what that person's been through and where they're coming from. And sometimes, you have to realize that they might not see things the way you see them. And so I love that one. You can only meet someone as far as they've met themselves. I would like to know what your advice would be. What words of wisdom would you lay upon the earth for us? I like a good piece of advice, and wisdom is always valuable. But my favorite thing that my father used to say when I was young, God bless his soul, is consider the source. So if somebody said something mean to you or negative or hurt your feelings, consider the source. Who is the individual that said this? Where has this information come from? Right? Um, because maybe the source is not somebody you're trying to emulate or trying to be like. And so it makes sense that they are not a fan. And so, yeah, my father used to say that to me all the time when I was younger. Consider the source. And so I do. If anything comes my way and I find that I hurt my feelings or it's offensive or, whatever, any backlash of any kind, I always consider the source because if it's somebody I wouldn't naturally gel with anyway, it's like it makes sense. We're all different. We lead different lives. But yes, my dad. Oh, and the other big favorite my dad used to say when I was little was mind over matter, which I'm a big fan of because it's true. It's just hard because our is a muscle on some level, and you got to work it out to have that strength to make sure you have the mind over matter. But mind over matter is a good one too. So those are my words of wisdom for you. I can't wait to hear yours. Please post them down below. Let me know what's up. Did you not like this video? Hit thumbs up, thumbs down. It's all good. I just am curious to know what you would say to somebody seeking your advice. That's dare number 7. I dare you to give me some advice about whatever it is that you give advice about, and I will read it down below. And that's dare 7. All right, I'll see you back here for dare 8. Bye.